Hey Duncan, I thought I might just make this video as just like a basic build order guide for Fast Castle and just kind of go over some of the tips and optimizations. A lot of the stuff just looks the same. You do it for most kind of build orders, so I thought it would just be nice to lay it out. And you might have seen it written down. If you haven't, I'll give you a written down guide, but I thought I might draw it out first. It can be a little bit easier to kind of explain it visually, and then I'll run through it real quick and obviously try to pick up anything I miss as I go. So they almost always start the same. You almost always do 6 on sheep right away, and then 4 on wood. Some people do less, some people do more. This is just super consistent. If you're doing, let's not go into specifics, just general what you do. They'll put you up to 11 pop, so that's usually when you want to build a house. Now what I typically do is that's when I also take my boar. So I'll go ahead and add another one here and build a house where I'm here. I'll just typically build it around about where the boar is and just use it as like a preemptive wall, because I might want to slowly make a secondary wall around here. So building a secondary house wall is kind of nice. That will take a little bit of time while that's kind of happening. And then so the next 2 will villages that will go to sheep. Now, just a general rule, you can have 8 on sheep or herdables in general, but you can have up to 12 I usually get away with on the boar, and that's just to hoon it as quick as possible. Animals have rot, so you want to eat them as quickly as possible, and you want to be selective that you're kind of trying to only kill one animal at a time. Obviously that's not always the case. Then you want to so it's like 1 here, and then you 2 more here, you go up to 8. And then around about that time is when you send your next one up here. Build another house, I guess. It's pretty good to do. Oh, sorry, that's not way. I'm blind. That's not the boar. Sorry. The boar down here, so we can do another wall. And bring that in. By wall I mean house as a part of your wall. We won't actually wall unless you get tower rushed or some shit. Cool. And so now, and then you do, so is that 8, 9, 10, and then I usually go up to 12 on boar. So this should all kind of equal 12. And then you start sending to berries. Now, the most you can have on berries is 6. Is what I typically do. Most people only do 4. I like 6 because it just gets through your berries faster. As a rule of thumb, try build it like up against the berries, and then have like 3 here and then like 3 here, and then you try to make them stay. That just makes them path a bit better. One thing you'll find about Age of Empires macro is your villages are dumb as bricks, and they will just get stuck on each other for no reason. Cool. So that will now what will probably happen is, as you're sending villagers to berries, is you'll finish your boars. And you obviously you can only have 12 villagers on boar. You can only have 8 on sheep. So you want to transfer from here 4 of them, and so that will leave you with 8 under the TC and 6 on berries. And around about this time, if you have 6 here, 8 here, you actually typically want a little bit more food, and that's where I just drop 2 farms. And so that kind of leaves us with 4 on wood. What do we got? 8 plus 6 is 14 plus 2 is 16, putting us on 20 on food. Sorry, not 20, 20 total, 16 on food. And then we're going to want to have 2 on gold. But before we do that, we'll just plus 1 to wood. So you'll see you'll be at... Now look at this number, by the way. This number here in this box is your villager count, whereas this is your total population, which includes your scout. Go off the villager counts. That will be a lot more easier to track for your build orders. So you'll be at 20. You add 1 more to wood, so you have 5. So we'll go ahead and make this 5. That's kind of like at the end, you know. And then you add 2. So you got 21 plus 2, 23. Boom, 23. Yeah, let's just start with that. And then I'll just run through it. And then I'll talk about what you do while you're on the way up to feudal, or what you're trying to think. Because that's when we kind of want to rejig our economy a little bit. So I'm just going to wipe that. Otherwise, it's just going to be in the way. Yeah, I can close that. Cool. All right, well, let's just jump in. So obviously house is typically how you start. Put a sheep under the... oops. Well, making villages is also really important. Make villages house. And then we'll... Yeah. I can shift queue them to the sheep. And then rally to the town centre to the sheep. Shift queue was a thing. It wasn't in HD, but it is now in Definitive Edition. So you'll be more familiar with that. Like, you know, if you ever played Terran, you know, you make a house and a supply depot and then shift queue them back to minerals. Same sort of deal. Now, the other thing I haven't mentioned here is pushing deer. Not all map have deer, but if they do have deer, then definitely push them. Why am I saying deer? Well, they used to be all deer, but they got new models. But you'll learn to see. They're a bigger animal. And yeah, you definitely want to hunt them. So I'm up to 6 here already under the town center. I have the deer here, so I'm not going to use a sheep. I'll just kind of keep them to the side, just so my villagers aren't dumb and go and kill them. So we're going to keep pushing. Now what I'm doing here is I'm doing the follow command. So I'm follow commanding the deer, and that's just going to put the scout right up to the deer. And yeah, we'll just go ahead and kill it, drop our lumber camp. I'm just going to push all of them. Oh, I just realized the game music's playing. It's probably a bit confusing. I'm just going to go ahead and push all of them. Just because it's just one of those, like, yeah, it's not super efficient because you are getting rot. But it's one of those you just kind of want to get it done. You want to push there so your scout can go out and do other things. So we'll just kind of angle it in. You can just right click, you don't actually have to do the follow technique. It's just kind of lazy and easy. Cool, so we're up to 4, that's where we drop our house for the boar. So we're on 6 on food, 4 on wood. Almost, yeah, you see this a lot. This is really common. You see our thing's going yellow telling us to build a house, so go ahead and build a house here. I like to hotkey him. It just kind of makes it all easier to follow. Cool, and now we're going to go up to 8 on our deer here. Our scout's going to get the last of our sheep. I'm going to shift queue the houseville just to come back a little bit. It's all much of a muchness. This is just from doing it a lot. Cool, we're going to shoot the boar and run to the town centre. Now, the town centre no longer actually kills the boar and loses all the food, so you can use the town centre to just straight kill the boar. Nice and easy. Just like that. So we're on 9 now. Let's do that. 10. And then we'll build our next one to go build a house by the boar. Town centre, scout goes and does scouty things. If you're being lazy, you can of course use this button here, which is the auto scout, and he will just go ahead and scout badly, but it means you can put all your attention on your build order here. So we can do one more to boar. So we got 11 here, and this guy of course is going to be our 12th, bringing the next one. That's just about out, which times out quite nicely. Now, another really handy thing is they've got this drop-off button. For me, it's A, and it's going to force them to hand in their meat. Because when you have boar or deer, they actually hold 35 meat instead of 10, so they drop off less often. So if you have 0 food and you can't queue your next one, then you want to do this forced drop-off. So if you're ever like just short, just like a little bit of a resource like wood or something, you can just do this drop-off button. It's really, really handy. I really like that they added that feature. A lot of people didn't, but I think it's good. Cool. So we're going to get 3 on each side. of our berries. Now, this boar is about to run out, so we're going to shift Q to the deer. We're going to move some to berries so that we have 6 on berries. Quick math, and then we're gonna add 2 here. So they can just finish this, and then they can make farms. And then we've got our 8 on sheep, 6 on berries, 4 on wood. Nice. Now we're not at 23 yet, so we're going to add 1 more to wood just to get ourselves up to 5. I like to shift queue the villagers here because what they typically do is they run from side to side, and it's just a real pain. Cool. And then our last 2 here to gold. Now a real tip: I saw you were building it next to the gold. Make a little gap. I'll explain that just a second. It means you can have more. Oops. Make sure you keep bringing in your next sheep. Don't be like me. Don't put them all into the town center because they'll just kill them. It's really annoying. But you can like shift queue them to the next one. Alright, so we're on feudal. We've got our 23 villages. Everything's gone and nice and smoothish, kind of. Now, if you're wanting to go for the relics, then this is where you will want to build a barracks in Dark Age on the way up to feudal. So that when you hit feudal, you can drop a stable and start making some scouts, some spears, and then you just need a blacksmith to age up to feudal. You age up immediately. So you'll be like, you'd hit feudal, this would finish. You'd queue 2 villages, you only need 2. And then you'll drop a stable and a blacksmith. And then when those finish, you immediately hit castle age. And then you start making your scouts, your spears, your wood upgrade, your horse collar upgrade. And then you get to castle age and you build your monastery. And then you have scouts and spears to protect your monks as you go out and get the relics. And then as you can afford the wood, you at town centers. Now, for a basic boom macro build, this is, as I said, this is super basic. There are more optimized ones, but they're more complicated. We're not going to get into that yet. The thing to note here is we're going to probably want more on wood. So we're going to quickly hoon all of our sheep, and then we're going to put more to wood. That's kind of the only thing to kind of keep in mind. We also am going to need a house, as you see, we're 24 out of 25. So while we're in feudal age, we only ever want to make 2 villages, because that's the amount of time it takes for us to build the buildings that we need to get to castle age, and immediately click castle age. So it should be villager, villager, castle age. So you can go ahead and queue them now. So I'll queue them now. And as I get a little bit closer to feudal age, I'm going to pull a Berryville, and they're going to make a house. Now this is a basic boom, so we're just going to do blacksmith market. Cool. So the villager is going to build a house. We kind of want to keep it out there because, you know, the travel time. We don't want to make our villagers run back and forth, back and forth, back and forth. I also like to hockey these villagers. It just makes things nice and easy. Cool. So now's probably a good time. About 60%. Probably enough time for him to come out here and build a house. Oops, I accidentally killed that shit early, but that should be fine. We'll rally to wood. Wood's really important. So we need 150 plus 175, so 325, so we're good. We got enough wood. Turns out we didn't need to move after all. Sometimes you do. I forget the build orders. I get them a bit muddled, but in this case we didn't. So we're just going to drop them nice and quick. We're just building them out of their way. They're pretty chunky buildings. And we've got the 2 villagers queued, going to wood. I'm going to just right click these guys. That's my last sheep. I'm going to right click them to a tree. Right clicking to a tree under the town center is like, I'm going to deal with you later. Now, we probably do want a second lumber camp. Now 5 or 6 is like your maximum saturation on a lumber camp. So we're just going to send 6 this way, 6 this way. It can be 7. That's fine. It's not the end of the world. I say max. I mean to say like optimal. So now we're going to go ahead and drop farms. And then we're going to get... Oh, actually, I'm being dumb. We should get a horse collar. so that our farms actually have more total food. Now, this kicks in from the completion of a farm. So we can go ahead and start building the farm. As long as this completes before its completion, then these farms will have the additional food. So it's a nice thing to kind of keep in mind. Cool. And now we get our wood upgrade. This is looking really nice. Oh, we can pull off gold. We don't. We basically want to maximize our food and wood as hard as we possibly can. I'm also going to queue a villager out here. And they're going to become our dedicated house builder. That's just nice to have. It just means we're not going to get pop capped. It's just like a autopilot thing. Cool. I'm just having a think where we might put our town centers. It's nice to put them up against like wood and gold. So then it kind of acts as we have 2 drop-off points. It helps increase our gold income. Like here we might have mining camp to like really like maximize our villager saturation. Cool. So we want to make sure we got nice amount of wood to drop those additional town centers. 4 is typically a good number. It's like it's logarithmic, where the more villagers you have, each villager isn't the same amount of increase to build time. It slowly diminishes. So 1 is the most optimal. And then it goes down from there. But 4 is like the nice middle ground between like more villagers to make it go faster, but not so many you're getting diminishing returns. Cool. I'm going to rally my main town center to what's called straggler trees. They're just trees around the town center. Now these berryvilles can go ahead and make farms. Don't quite have enough wood, that's fine. House builder can keep building houses. Cool, rally to wood. I'm going to queue them to wood just so they know. Cool, and now the main thing here is just making sure that our town centers are always producing. So we're just going to, as we have the wood to afford it, we're going to build farms. Nice and easy, nice and simple. Oh, struggling a little bit. Making villas, making farms. Of course, we've got our eco upgrades. If you don't get your eco upgrades, it just means that you have more flexibility. But getting them early means that obviously you have more time to benefit from them. I'm just using spacebar to go to my house builder. As a spacebar goes to my next idle villager. And then I'm using H to kind of jump around my town centers. Nice and easy. Now you start to reach a point around that kind of 30-ish farms where your food income and wood income will start to get beyond the bare necessity of what your town centers need. And so it's kind of at that point where we can go back to gold, or in my case, we can go to stone, and we want to go pick up these wheelbarrow upgrades. They're super important. So I'm just going to get 4 on stone. That's just going to allow us to get an extra town center. Yeah, cancel you. Just keeping the houses coming. Sure, I don't really need them. I've got a lot of wiggle room, but it's just one of those like, with 3 town centers, you know, you're making 3 villages a pop. It's just good to stay on top of it. Oh, so we've got 4 on stone. We're wanting to slowly add the gold. Yeah, it's about that 30 farm. Honestly, I'm kind of guesstimating it, and you can find what's optimal for you. I just find that nice and handy. Probably could have gone to stone a bit earlier, actually, and gotten another town centre, but that's okay. I think typically you can probably add this around about the time you make your third town centre, but as you can see, we're a bit tight there, so it's kind of hard to judge sometimes. Cool, so we'll get the next one, which is the wheelbarrow. You probably don't need loom on arena. It's just armor for your villagers, but obviously we have a wall. It's keeping us nice and safe. I'm actually going to build... Yeah, I'm going to build this on the gold, actually. And so instead of getting another mining camp, I can just do that. How are we doing? 32 farms. So now is probably the time where we want to add our age up buildings. We're about to kind of like get all the food we need. We're adding to gold, so we're about to get all the gold we need. So now's a good time. I'm a little rusty, so I'm not doing this super perfectly, but it's fine. Just add more farms if we can. It's fine to double layer, which is like one farm out from the town centre. You're really not losing much by doing that. So that's perfectly fine. Now we're going to want to add a lot of houses here, because we're about to drop all our production buildings, and that's where our population's kind of skyrocket. I can add another town centre, and I will. That's just because I got enough stone, really, and my wood's looking fine. We're just waiting on gold, so I'm just going to sell a little bit. Obviously, if I was better with my timing, I wouldn't have to do that, but you know, it's fine. Alright, cool. So we're going to research Imperial Age. Now, what are we? Britons. So we probably want to make archers. So we're going to go here. I'm also going to get a blacksmith. Keep ourselves nice and queued. So, yeah, we're getting archer range and then armor. Where'd that villager go? So we're getting a second blacksmith. Oh, they went... What the? Why did they go that way? Second blacksmith just to really crank out those upgrades. Still adding more. We probably have enough farms. Archers are not too hard on the old food, so we don't need as much food. In fact, I'm just conscious that I want to pick up ballistics. I'm going to pick up treadmill crane. It increases your build speed, which is actually kind of handy because we're going to build a ton of buildings right now. Oh, I just realized getting the relics. Cool. We can start adding more to stone here. Just do that. We can start working towards a castle, but it's not like super important. It's important, but it's not. I'd rather have an army than a castle. We'll go and kill that guy. We'll get our mining upgrades. No, we don't have any left. I think we're fine. I think we're fine. Could probably do with loom now though, because we do actually have villagers out. Start making our archers. Probably enough ranges. I'll go ahead and get more. Oh, they're in stone. Yeah, whatever. We'll get more stone. Oh shoot, we actually need more houses. Yeah, so we'll cancel some of these just to give us some resources back. It's good to replace your lumber camps. You actually get a lot of fall off on resources. So what are we getting? We're getting Bracer and Arbalista. Those are your two most important. He's going to get that. That's fine. I'm not... Relics aren't that big of a deal. they're important. They're not. You shouldn't completely ignore them, but it's not the worst if you don't get any. I'm gonna get up to about 120 vils, and it's probably stopping for me. Also, something I really suggest looking into. I've got an auto clicker. It just makes building a lot of buildings just much easier. Oh, get our last eco upgrades. That's a good idea. Now, our ballistas, even though skirmishers have a high pierce defense, which is the defense against arrows, and do bonus damage against archers, this is the difference of being Imperial first. We just completely outrange him. So I'm not scared of this at all. We can just kind of micro this down a little bit. Just pull back, stop, pull back, stop. Nice and easy. Now he's trying to build a castle. Obviously we're cheating. We have full map vision. Go ahead and pressure. Now if you do have extra food and wood, you can sell it. I'm against buying on the market because you lose a lot on the market. But selling is good because, you know, you get your gold back essentially. Right. This is where we have to kind of look a little bit at what our opponent's doing. Now we've seen Scorpions. Scorpions do have 7 pierce defense, so they have a lot of defense against arrows, and they do pass-through damage. So they're going to take a lot of shots from our archers. Our archers do 9 damage, so they're only going to do 2 or 3 damage a shot. So just bearing in mind, if our opponent's making a unit that countered us, we do want to make sure that we have a secondary unit to deal with that. So pikes wouldn't do very well. Scorpions are good against anything on foot, basically. But they die to just about any cav or siege. Now, I could go cav here, but going siege would also help me in that it would deal with his skirmisher and also help break into his base. So, although I could go cav and get the mobility, I don't think the mobility is as important as, say, something like a mangonel. So we go ahead and add that now. Wow, he's stuck in the relics. But just as you can see, before he gets critical mass, Britain's having extra range just means we just shred through this. I'm going to go ahead and add a castle. The castle right now is honestly just for the unique techs. It's just kind of all we want. It'll give us extra range on our archers, as well as conscription is a really important upgrade that will give us our, let's get the onagers. Conscription will give us unit production speed, which is pretty good. Oh, we're going to keep selling. Probably could have more on gold actually. That should fix it. But we have a death ball at this point, so as long as we keep our death ball alive, we're doing pretty good. I've seen cav, which means that I probably want to start preparing pikes. Pikes have bonus damage versus cav, so we're going to add in a few more barracks. Start researching the pike upgrades. Oops, I just realized we didn't actually research archer armor. So make sure we do that, because our army is primarily archers right now. So we want the silver crown first and foremost, which will give us, what is it? Foot archers and skirmishers +1 range. So we already have +2. So that's going to give us +3 over normal says, which is just a huge advantage. As you can see, we can just mow him down and walk away. Nice. Nice. He's got the relic, so we do have to kill him. Normally that's not a condition, by the way. That's just because I'm dumb and didn't change the game mode. Normally relics are not relic victory on ladder play. So if they have all the relics, you won't lose. But the 200 years is actually plenty of time. We've already got our amazing army. Make sure we get ballistics. Super important. Probably more important than chemistry, actually. Being able to hit moving targets is more important than +1 damage. Cool, so we'll add some onagers, and we'll add some trebuchets, and then we'll get another castle. These guys are finished. We're just hitting the spacebar button, just finding all of our idle villages. Cool. We'll continue to upgrade our infantry, but see how it's eating into our gold. So you don't want to try going too many directions. But pikes are a good support for archers because archers are weak to cavalry. But now we've got the onagers. Onagers are freaking awesome. They just have rain down AoE damage. Let's go ahead and just take out his town centre with the trebuchet. Let's just start taking down his gate. Oops. And this is Scorpion here. I'm just going to one-shot it. Onagers are pretty good like that. Now he's going to try and make units to counter the onagers, but our archers already do that, so they're already a good defense. So onagers are going to deal with the scorpions pretty nicely. Onagers are also pretty good against infantry, unless they move fast like these ones. But we got archers, so they're going to make quick work of that. Another trebuchet going to attack the center. You wouldn't typically go onagers as Britons, but this is just a case where my opponent's going siege, and that is just dealing with a problem very nicely for us. More idle villages. And now just siege for the win. Siege engineers. Very important upgrade. Gives bonus damage against buildings, but more importantly, siege engineers gives +1 range. So that's pretty important. Range is the name of the game. So if your opponent, if you have that and your opponent doesn't, then you kill his stuff for free. It's just really, really good. He's a siege civ, by the way. That's why he's making so many scorpions. It's kind of his best choice, but we've basically countered it. Let's just take down this gate. Now's when I would be like, okay, we can get conscription, we can get the war wolf upgrade for AoE on our trebuchets. And then I would consider going elite. We've already invested so much into arbalistas that are already like incredibly good that we didn't really need elite longbow. And if anything, I probably wouldn't because they don't really add much more than what they already do. But we can. They are stronger slightly, but it is a gold investment. But seeing as we have the entire map with all the gold we could possibly want, then it's quite alright. Let's go ahead and add a few more trebuchets. So we are maxed. And we should probably do something about those relics. Yep. Keep archers alive, win game. As you see, they're not very effective against scorpions. Obviously, we greatly outnumber them here and there, but if he hit a critical ball of scorpions, it's really tough to deal with. As you can see, all the villagers here just getting absolutely owned by the onagers. Onagers are a really good unit. The problem is that AI control all of their units independently. So where human players will control their units in a blob, AI don't. And so AI kind of counter onagers, ironically, by the fact that they move everything individually. Oops. But onagers are very good. They can just nuke entire clumps of units. Yeah, he's got a castle in the back. I think you've seen enough. I think you get the point. So I'm going to go ahead and finish that there. And then I might talk a little bit about hotkeys in a separate video. So if you have any questions, please do let me know. I'm sure you'll let me know. I hope that helps.